let's say you're currently working 40 to 80 hours plus per week. You're set, you don't have time to implement health in your life. You don't know how to implement it, and this is an obstacle, which is creating more fat, more sluggishness, less an incentive to actually do something about it. What if I told you this video will break down your week, basically finding out every single thing that you're doing and figure out what time you're not accounting for? Because at the end of the day, it comes down to time management, and we need to figure out where the gaps could be so that we can implement health in there. And believe me, you don't need as much time when it comes to health as you think, and you have more time than you think. That excuse, I don't have time, not good enough. I'll prove it in this video. So if you want a document copy, comment the word time management and I'll provide the link to you. Without further ado, let's get into it. So I created the document, and this is the table of contents to the document. So total hours in your week, the total hours you'll be sleeping, the total hours of your non-negotiable responsibilities, so your must-dos, your leisure, so the things that you must do but it's good for your mental health and it's good for a recharge, and extras. Okay, what we're gonna do is find the total for all of those things, then take it away from the total amount of hours for the week, and you will realize you have more time than you think. Okay, and then we'll carry on from there. So of course the total amount of hours in the week is 168. No surprises there. 24 times 7. Okay, so sleep. Sleep, this is something you have to do. Let's assume you sleep 8 hours a night, 7 days in a row, 56 hours. Okay? Next, we'll talk about your responsibilities. We'll break down the hours for that. I wish I had a board so I can do it on it, but I can talk through it as we go. I can go more in depth with this kind of video in the future, but this is more or less something to just skim through the actual document to get straight to the point so that you can apply it immediately. Anyways, so your sleep is going to be 56 total for the week. Let's say the work is 44 in total. Okay, just over 8 hours per day for 5 days. We're not going to say for the whole week because some people don't work on the weekends. Let's work that out. I have a calculator here. That should be 100, I'm assuming. So 56 plus 44, 100. So we're at 100 hours between sleep and work. Okay. So obviously you have other things you have to do. Taking care of your kids, taking your kids to basketball, doing any other things you require. Okay. So let's say in total that's about 20 hours for the week, which will come to about 120 in total. Okay. Next, of course, you need to have your leisure. You need to have a way to recharge so that you're not allowing these long hours to drive you crazy. So let's say in total for that is 10 hours. Okay. So at 130. Okay. Keep in mind we're very close to 168, but we're not quite there yet, and we didn't implement anything to do with health yet. Okay. So another thing I'll do is extras, of course. So maybe you could be volunteering, you could be doing additional things you took on because you want to be kind to the community. So let's say that's an extra, let's say 15 hours. So we're at 145. Okay. So there's still about almost a day worth of time. Okay. We're talking about what? 168 and 145. Oh, I did that bad there. So about a day, 23 hours. So I know for sure a lot of you have more than 20 hours left over. The reason you may feel like you don't have enough time is because you're not actually taking your time into account. You're not accounting for every hour of the day. This is where time management is key, because if you don't do this, the days will get by you. The days will get away from you to the point you feel like everything is controlling you and you don't really have time for yourself, which is the key here. In order for you to be more efficient at work, more efficient for your kids, more sociable, more less of someone to be a nuisance, you have to have time to yourself, which involves your health. The good news is you don't need a crazy amount of hours to implement your health. I would definitely say 3 hours per week in workouts, about maybe another 7 hours when it comes to nutrition, taking into account going to the grocery store, returning, putting food away, prepping it. All of that in total 7 hours. So for health for the week, 10 hours in total. And I'm overestimating here. And you still have 13 hours left over. That just tells me a lot of people would rather jump to the excuse rather than look for a solution. Because it comes down to you. It comes down to what you want. It comes down to what your priority is. And if being healthy, being around to see your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, to be able to keep up with them, if this is not part of the plan, an early death will be part of the plan if you don't implement health. Making money is important. Working is important. Sleep is important. Attending to your responsibilities is important. But being effective while doing it is important too. You know what I'm saying? Be the example. Be the example by accounting for your time. There's many tools you can use, such as the Google Calendar. I have it here. Such as something like this, the Google Calendar. Just scheduling your day out. For me, I have a lot of there's a lot of things I do at the same time every single day. So for me, I'm an autopilot. But for a lot of individuals that wake up at random time, do random things, only really have the work schedule in place, you need to schedule your day. You need to know what you're going to be doing, especially when it comes to knowing where your time's going, because the day will get ahead of you. The day will pass by. When you're younger, you have less responsibilities, but as you get older and the responsibilities rise, your awareness of your time is even more important. So this has to be in your agenda. This has to be part of your priority, because time will pass with or without you, and you need to make the most of it. So obviously, I went through the entire document just to prove the point that you have more time than you think. Okay, it's just about finding out where the gaps are and filling those gaps with things that you need. I've trained hundreds of people between the ages of 16 and 65, and I've created programs. The client only needs about 3 hours per work for workouts per week. They were able to get in shape without making the gym their whole life, which is the point. People look at me and think I go to the gym every day. I don't. I go 4 days a week. On a week where I'm not extremely busy, I may fit in a fifth, but usually it's four. All right. And I'll tell you right now, 50 hours, 60 hours, 70-hour weeks, it's been a thing for me for the last 12 years. People actually started using that term now. I didn't really think about it that way, but I just knew priorities. I knew waking up early would help. I knew working out in the morning would help. I knew at least like mapping out the day first. I'm gonna leave at 8:30, get there at 9. At this time I leave. I could account on this, so I'll be here at 3. At 4 I'll be doing this. At 6 I'll be doing that. At 7, at 8:30 I need to be wrapping up to go to bed before 10. I'm mapping out the day each morning. You got to map out your days. You cannot just wake up randomly. Random equals random results. Okay? So, how you can reach me? Mulo Motivation on everything, all platforms. And of course, if you want this document, comment the word time management and I'll send it to you. So, I've trained over 100 people excuse me, people losing between 20 to 50 pounds, despite of their schedules in the medical field, blue collar, whatever professions. Some of them even have side things they're doing, and they're still able to implement what I told them to do. So if you're interested, it's within the links in this document. Okay, to get it, come to word time management. So essentially, all of them had customized workout programs to their fitness level, to their goal, and to their necessities, including what they may or may not have as far as equipment. A nutrition plan catered to their goals, recipes, grocery lists, things in that nature, and check-ins to ensure that they are doing what I tell them to do. Because you're not going to succeed if you don't listen to me. And I look for people that are going to be teachable, that will listen, and patient. Because results take time, and it's going to take not only consistency and hard work, but patience. And I don't say hard work in the sense of more time in it. It's when you're doing the work, you're going to work hard, right? So if you're working out for a 30-minute session, you'll be a hard and good session, but you'll be effective and efficient. That's what we're looking for here, efficiency. We don't need to be going every day. We don't need to sleep and think about macros and all that. You don't need to be in the gym 3 hours a day. No. Effective 15 to 40-minute workouts 3 times a week. That's possible. It really comes down to the habits outside the gym as well, because that's another 23 hours. We forget about that. But anyways, I am here to teach you skills to be able to sustain a good lifestyle. I'm not here to get you quick results. I'm here to get you results that will last. Okay? So if you're interested in that, comment the word time management and I'll provide all this to you. But other than that, I hope this video was valuable. I hope you took something from it. You have more time than you think. Okay? Stop making that excuse. Look for solutions. Look for possibilities of implementing what you can implement. Okay? God bless all of you. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you next video.